A life without stress. One young man was passionate about discovering the secret of happiness. He asked many people until someone advised him to visit a certain village in China, where an old wise man lived who could show him the secret. Without wasting any time, the young man boarded the first plane to China, filled with excitement to finally uncover the secret of happiness. When he finally arrived at the village, he said to himself, "Now I will discover the secret I've been searching for so long." He reached the wise man's house and knocked on the door. An elderly woman opened it, welcomed him warmly, and led him to the sitting room, asking him to wait. He waited for over 3 hours, growing increasingly angry at being neglected by the man he had come so far to see. Finally, the wise man appeared, dressed simply and modestly. He sat calmly beside the young man, a gentle smile on his face, and asked if he would like some tea. The young man, on the verge of losing his temper, thought to himself, "This old man left me waiting for over 3 hours, didn't apologize or explain his delay, and now he simply asks if I want tea." As he brooded, his anger grew. The wise man repeated his question calmly, asking if the young man would like some tea. The young man snapped, "Yes, I want tea." The wise man filled a cup of tea and sat beside him. Then he asked, "Shall I pour you some tea?" The young man agreed. The wise man began to pour the tea into the cup until it was full, but he kept pouring. The tea overflowed, spilling over the cup and onto the table and floor. The young man jumped up and shouted, "Can't you see the cup is full? The tea is overflowing and spilling everywhere." The wise man smiled calmly and replied, "I'm glad you finally stood up in the moment." Then, rising from his seat, he added, "The meeting is over." The young man shouted in disbelief, "What do you mean it's over? I traveled all this distance, waited for more than 3 hours, and now you've spilled tea everywhere, and you say the meeting is over. Are you joking with me?" The wise man said, "Listen, my son. You must come back to me when your cup is empty." The young man asked what he meant by that. The Chinese sage replied, "When a cup is full of tea, it cannot hold anymore. If you keep pouring beyond its capacity, you end up losing much around you." That's the first lesson. Secondly, regarding your frustration, when you stayed angry, your cup became completely full, and you kept pouring more into it until your anger overflowed. You became overly tense, and the result was a great loss as well. Then he walked the young man to the door and said, "If you want to be happy, my son, learn to control your emotions and your judgments. Always make sure your cup is empty. That is the key to happiness." Emotions change like the weather. They're like a roller coaster, rising and falling through the air. Feelings are as varied as the colors of the rainbow. You might start your day feeling joyful, calm and in harmony, humming your favorite tunes as you get dressed and prepare to head out. On your way to work, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you just let them pass without a reaction. You get to work and greet everyone warmly, wishing them a good day. Why? Simply because you're happy. But on another day, you might wake up late because you forgot to set your alarm. You rush around in a panic. Everything feels chaotic, as if there's a fire in the house. You put on the first clothes you find, even if they don't match. If someone annoys you on the road, you become extremely irritable. And if someone greets you with a wish for a good day, your response might be, "Please leave me alone. Where am I supposed to find happiness?" In reality, your cup might be full to the brim, then empty again and filled once more, repeating several times throughout the day. If you wake up in the morning feeling that it's going to be a good day, do you think your cup is full or empty? Of course, it's empty, but as you're getting ready to go to work, the electricity goes out and all your electric appliances stop working. Do you think your cup is still empty? No, it has started to fill. Then, you put on your favorite clothes and leave the house, only to find that your car won't start. Now, is your cup full or empty? Obviously, it's filling up even more. Eventually, the car starts and you feel that your cup has emptied a little, right? But finally, you arrive at work 30 minutes late and your boss calls you to his office. You walk in feeling your cup is filled to the brim, only to be surprised by your boss's calm smile as he informs you that your long-awaited promotion has been approved. Now, how's your cup? Of course, it empties out with joy. You go to your desk almost flying with happiness, and then you receive a phone call from a friend telling you that your house has caught fire. And just like that, your cup fills to the brim once more. As you can see, emotions constantly shift like the weather. So let me ask you, are you one of those people who allow circumstances to control their emotions? Think about it. I was giving a lecture on leadership psychology to a group of company executives when one of the managers stood up and said, "I know my leadership style very well. I just returned from England after spending a week studying leadership." My response was that this statement made no real sense, and I changed the subject. A few minutes later, I asked him how he was feeling. He replied, "Of course, I feel upset." When I asked why, he said, "You insulted me." I asked, "Did I insult you, or did you interpret it that way? Did I command you to feel that way, or was that your decision?" He replied, "I don't know, but I'd prefer to be alone for a while." So I said, "Did you see what just happened? In less than a minute, and with a single sentence, I was able to affect your